Good morning traders, and welcome to this week's weekly market analysis, Monday the 11th of November. Alright, this week a little bit of data coming out, Thursday being the most impactful day. We have on Thursday our unemployment data locally due out. Also from the US we have CPI inflation data out on Thursday. For the week as well from the UK we have the claimant account change, which is the unemployment figures due out. So I've got everything listed here on my side. Please take note. Last week, of course, was a little bit of a volatile week due to the elections, market swinging in both directions. But let's just get started, have a quick look. My charts are a little bit all over the place, but let's see if we can find something. All right, we'll kick off with the Aussie US dollar. All right, with the Aussie US dollar, last week I flagged for us that we had a trade opportunity right about here, okay? The trade had started the week prior, but we had an opportunity to enter around about here, I believe, and consequently that trade did go up. So for those of you who did take that, well done, that one is over. Now let me just remove my marker because that trade has finished. You can see on my chart the big long candles, which are around about, there's a 150 pip swing there day to day, and that's a direct result of the volatility from the elections. At the moment, this chart is really not saying anything for me. We've already taken that trade up and we're out of that trade, so let's wait for this one to settle down a little bit before we see anything new arrive for us on this particular chart. All right, let's move on. Let's have a look at the Euro USD. Euro USD, I did have this zone marked out to see if we had an opportunity to bounce back up, but consequently, as a result of the elections, we can see that it just shot right through. So we never got triggered. No trade happened. So I will remove my marker now. There's nothing occurred on that one. And to be honest, let's again on this one, let's wait a little bit and let's see how this develops before the next trade setup comes along. Out of curiosity, that candle, that's around about 200, well, the peak to peak, it's nearly 250 pips. That candle, that movement, and that's the volatility that was caused from direct results of the election and what it could impact for Europe. Okay, all right, let's move along. Let's have a look at the GBP USD. I've been tracking this supporting line over here, and let me just zoom in onto this cluster. Alright, so I'm basically looking at this cluster here. There's nothing really screaming. I was kind of hoping for a trade in this direction, but nothing is saying that at the moment. So look, because of the volatility that we had last week, the charts are a little bit, I prefer for them to settle down a little bit before we take anything. And on this one, I don't see anything right now as well, so we will skip this one this morning. Let's move along. Let's have a look at the US yen. Okay, this is a slightly more normal looking chart. We can see that we are on an up. We have pulled down and we've pulled back up. Let me just zoom out a little bit more just to have a wider look. Okay, we're kind of in no man's land on this particular one. We either have to wait till we get back up towards there and we're looking for a double top. So in other words, we're waiting for the market to get to there and then we're looking for the trade back down. We're still a long way from that, specifically where it's about 850 pips. That's a long way. I don't see anything right now where we are. So for this time being, I'm just going to leave this one alone. All right, let's move along. Let's have a look at Brent oil. Okay, so we're definitely on the down. The only thing I can kind of start to see here is, let me just get rid of this one. I don't want that line anymore. And let me just rearrange it. I can see some kind of support possibly occurring around about this region, so I'm just going to leave it there. And what I'm going to look for is I'm going to look for this market to come down to here, and then if I can see reversal, confirmation that the market is reversing there, well then I'll be happy to try and trade in this direction. Okay, so let's put a marker on our chart over here so that we remember what we're trying to do. Okay, we have to wait for this one at the moment. We're not in a position to take any trade, so if the market continues to fall down and comes towards us on this line that I've just drawn in, then that's a trade that I'm interested in, on the proviso that I do get the confirmation that it is bouncing. Okay, and the last one for the week, gold. Gold has finally had a big push down. Okay, as it seems that a lot of money is moving back towards cash, away from gold, or there's a bit of profit taking. And now we will just have to wait and see if this is going to be a trend that now we're going to change directions trend, or it's going to have a little bit of consolidation before we continue to kick on to newer highs. But for the time being, I'm not prepared to take anything on this particular chart the way it looks right now. All right, so there you have it. It's a little bit of a week with a lot of volatility, and a lot of my charts aren't really showing up too nicely. So as I've said, that's what's happening. Take a look at what's listed on my side. The highlights in terms of data: we have unemployment figures due out on Thursday for Australia, CPI data for the US also on Thursday, and the other big one is from the UK, their unemployment figures on the claimant count, which is due out this week as well. Have a great trading week, guys, and I will speak to you next week for the weekly market analysis. Bye for now.